Hello and welcome. This is going to be a short class all dedicated to flexibility and mobility throughout the hips. So this is all about getting that movement in the hips and the joints and the muscles so that when you go in for your workout at the gym, whether you're a lifter, you just do it to feel good, or you do it for competitions, that you can use that mobility in the hips to get deeper into your squat, as the saying goes, ass to the grass, and just improve your overall mobility within your body. I mean, hips are super important to be flexible, especially if you have a desk job or you're sitting all day, and those hips become really tight, and we want to counteract that as much as we can. So whether this is for your squats, for your health, for your mobility, for your flexibility, or just because you're sitting at a desk all day and you need to move those hips and stretch them out a little bit, this class is for you. Please enjoy. Today we're going to get started lying on our mats in our reclined butterfly. So soles of the feet to touch and knees fall open to the side, starting with a very gentle hip opener and beginning to connect with the breath. So allowing knees to fall open to the side, gently opening hips, and feeling those deep inhales filling up your belly. And those deep exhales, the belly releases. On your next inhale, gently prepare to kind of help your knees up to center. So feet come as wide as the mat, kind of tenting your knees in. We're going to be windshield wipering and using breath with movement. So on an exhale, release your knees to the left, your gaze to the right. Inhale, nose and knees through center. Exhale, nose and knees in opposite directions. Inhale, big long inhale sweeps through center. Big long exhale sweeps up and over to the other side, just gently twisting, opening and preparing our bodies. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist. And this time as you come through center, squeeze your knees into your chest, big hug in, and we're going to go for a little rock and roll to come to a seat. Up and down the spine, little massage there, shoulders to feet. Yeah, and come to a comfortable seat. And roll over the legs, coming towards tabletop pose. Extend your right leg long out behind you on an exhale, and on an inhale, draw that knee up towards the front of the mat right outside of your right hand. Maybe send that left knee a little further back so you can get a little deeper into this lizard pose. And see if this is comfortable, and if you have a little more room, you can come down onto your forearms. Always start with the inside arm just to see how much movement you have there. You can let your head hang, so shake it out yes, shake it out no, make sure you're not holding in the neck, but also stay wherever is comfortable for you, if it's up on the palms or if it's down on the forearms. If you're somewhere in between, you can also lower your forearms down onto a book or a stack of books or a block if that's available for you. If the forearms are really accessible, you can also lift the back knee off the mat, curling through the toes, and it gives a little bit more stretch through the hips. On an inhale, press into your palms and heel toe right foot to the center of the mat. And sweep the arms up by your ears, tracking right knee over right ankle, making sure not to send that knee past the toes, and sink deep into that left hip so you get that nice stretch through left hip. Exhale, frame the front foot and hinging back, coming towards half splits, right toes flex towards your face. And then maybe, if it feels okay, walk your hands off the long edge of your mat. So hands are on the outside of the right leg. And then maybe left toes kind of kickstand off of the mat. And allow yourself to just fold just a bit so you get a deeper stretch on the outside of the hip. Breathing inhales, sending those breaths into any intensity you might be feeling. And beginning to walk your hands to frame right foot once more. Track right knee over right ankle. And then gently sending that right leg back to your tabletop pose. Inhale, left leg extends. Exhale, step it through to the wide edge of the mat, outside left hand. Maybe send right knee back a little bit more, getting deeper into your lizard. Heel toe the foot off the mat. So heel slightly on, toes are slightly off. And then fold into your expression, your edge of your lizard pose. And maybe you find you can come a little bit deeper as we're in the pose, but just use the breath to find that space within the hips. Notice the hip opening, and then draw your knee in almost towards your body. So kind of that counteracting posture. Make sure you're not holding in the neck here. And if the forearms down to the mat are really accessible, again, option to curl through back toes and lift back knee. And on your next breath, come back up to the palms, toe heel, the left foot to the middle of the mat, and sweep your arms up high, low crescent lunge, sinking deep into right hip this time. Left knee tracking over left ankle, so just check in with that. Relax shoulders away from ears, and just enjoying and noticing that hip opening on the right side this time. Big breath in, fill up. Big breath out, let it go. One more big inhale here. Exhale, frame the front foot. Gently hinge back from the hips. Hips kind of track over that back knee. Left toes flex towards your face. And you can stay right there or walk your hands once more off the long edge of the mat, kind of folding over that left thigh. And again, sending breath to any intensity. If you need to kind of kickstand that opposite leg off the mat, you may here. Prepare to walk those hands back to the front of the mat. Left knee tracks over left ankle. Step it back. Tabletop pose. Maybe give that leg a little shake out. And then as you're ready, curl through the toes. Lift the knees, send the hips high. Downward facing dog. Really folding upper body towards your thighs here. Taking a few deep breaths in your down dog. Take a big inhale, right leg straight up and high, and then stack right hip on top of left and bend your knee so your heel comes towards your glute. Big hip opener. Do your best to keep your shoulders square to the mat while the hips open up here. Exhale, lower that right leg back down. Inhale, left leg straight up and high. Stack left hip on top of right, and then bending at the knee, heel towards the glute. Again, working to keep shoulders square to the mat, folding body towards thighs, and keeping those hips stacking and opened. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, set it down. Inhale, come up high on the toes, just waking up side body, giving a little rhythm here. Exhale, plank wave, one vertebra at a time, all the way forward, high plank. Exhale, low. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Just a little flow. Inhale, up on the toes, and slowly walk up top of the mat. Ragdoll forward fold. Inhale, hands to shins, flat back, reach the crown of the head and the tailbone, pull belly button to spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse sweep, but all the way up high to stand. Exhale, hands through heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up high, gaze at the thumbs. Exhale, dive forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, pull belly button to spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep it all the way up high, gaze up at the thumbs. Exhale, hands find heart center. Toe heel your feet wide as the mat, so heel slightly on, toes slightly off once more. Then press your prayer hands up to sky and exhale, sit all the way down into your garland pose, yogi squat. Pressing your hands together, and then press your triceps into your thighs, and then squeeze your arms with your thighs, so squeezing and pushing in both directions. As you can see, I'm pretty low here in this posture, but if you're a little higher up in your seat, that's totally okay. This is all about working towards a goal. You don't have to be there yet. And keep your heart lifted. Gently press your palms down, and then send the legs back right into high plank. Exhale, low. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, up and over your toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep right leg straight up and high, and exhale, step it through between the hands. Pivot the back foot flat into the mat, and then sweep your arms up by your ears, coming towards warrior one. Hips are pretty square to the front of your mat here. Almost press right knee out towards right pinky toe, and then sweep the arms behind the back. Either grab opposite elbows or interlace your fingers, press palms together, coming towards humble warriors. Wave down inside of that right leg, so your right shoulder almost presses into the right thigh. So it's like a balance challenge, hip opening posture. Reach your knuckle bounce up to the sky and keep drawing shoulder blades together. Careful not to let shoulders shrug into your ears here. On your next inhale, use that bind to draw you all the way up to stand. Sweep the arms open and come to your five-pointed star. Exhale, come down to prayer squat. Notice that knees track over ankles, toes are out wide. Inhale, press it up. Exhale, prayer squat, straight down. Inhale, press it up. Exhale, prayer squat, straight down. Once more, big inhale, press it up to stand. Exhale, prayer squat, straight down. Inhale, up to stand, and exhale, cartwheel the hands to frame the front foot. Step back, high plank. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, up and over your toes, downward facing dog. Coming in on the other side, inhale, left leg straight up and high. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, rise, warrior one. Back foot flat into the mat, squaring your hips to the front of the mat. Relax shoulders. Big inhale, and exhale, take the bind of your choice, whatever you did on the other side. And waterfall wave inside of that left thigh, coming towards humble warrior. Maybe pressing into left thigh a little bit here. And a few breaths, just challenging this posture, challenging your edge in your humble warrior. On your next exhale, gently release your bind, placing hands down on the mat, and walk your hands to the long edge of the mat, coming towards your wide-legged straddle. Toes slightly in, heels slightly out, and walk your hands either back or find ankles. I'm just switching over, so I'm facing the camera here, and then just staying down. Take what you need here. Let this be a little bit about just the freedom of the posture. You can even have a little bind and a little sway side to side. Bring your thumbs to your hip creases, strong flat back, rise up to stand, and once more, track knees over ankles and shrug your shoulders into your ears. Coming for a few little twists here. We're going to start by pressing our right palm into our inner right thigh and twist. So stretching your shoulder and your hip here. Inhale through center. Exhale, left palm presses into the inner left thigh. Just kind of swaying, hanging out here a few breaths. Inhale through center, and then exhale to the other side. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center, and then coming up, five-pointed star. Inhale, exhale, goddess pose. So in this type of squat, instead of where you usually send the hips back, send the glutes back, you come straight down into your goddess pose. Knees track over ankles, arms out wide, cactus arms. Spread those fingers wide, shoulders aligned with your elbows here. One more big inhale, stretch it up. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down. Step back, high plank, flow, or you can also step right to downward facing dog. The flow is always optional. We're going to prepare some big hip circles here. So reach right leg straight up and high, and then exhale, circle it all the way around until the right foot crosses in front of the left. And inhale, left leg, big circle, opening up, and then the left foot crosses in front of the right. One more time on each side. Inhale, right foot reaches up, big circle, up and around, right foot crosses in front of left. Inhale, left leg reaches straight up and high, big circle up and around, and left foot cross in front of right. From here, we're actually going to make our way to our scissor pose. So walk your feet out wide, keeping that cross, and then lower knees down. So with our scissor legs here, the knees are stacking one on top of the other. If this is hard for you to get into, then maybe, hips are a little tight. So you can option to either sit up on a pillow, on a block, if you have a yoga block, or on a blanket. And then from there, begin to just kind of fold over your legs here. If that's still a little much, even with the hips lifted, you can also take an object if the knees are far apart and a block or a pillow just between the knees. And allow yourself to just sink into this posture. Just gently folding over If you have enough just sitting straight up, you can do that as well. If you have a little room, starting to walk your hands forward, folding and breathing into the spaces within the hips that you're feeling the intensity. And gently coming up to a comfortable seat, kind of tent your fingers on either side. And we're just going to switch over. So right knee is going to be on top of left. And a fun little way to get there is kind of just press up and then spin all the way around towards the back of the mat, all the way back towards the front. And then naturally, right knee will land on top of left. Pretty impressive, yeah. But if you didn't want to go that way, you can just stay seated and just switch your legs over. Again, option to sit either up on a blanket or a block or a pillow, or put something in between the knees if the knees are far apart. And once more, just gently folding forward. No need to push yourself past intensity into pain. So just be aware of the difference. And once more, use that breath to kind of calm the mind. So if your mind starts to wander and thinking this is an intense posture, just gently return your mind to the focus of the breath. Slowly begin to rise back up to a seat and then unravel the legs straight out in front of you. Give them a little shake and roll over the legs, coming towards tabletop pose. We'll be coming into sleeping pigeon, so if you like to do so through down dog, you may. Otherwise, from tabletop, send right leg straight out and then draw that shin up to the front of the mat. So it's just about parallel with the front of the mat. And then send left leg long, straight out behind you. Keep your right toes flexed to protect the knee joint. And slowly exhale, wave forward until you come to lie down, either creating a little pillow with your hands or stacking one fist on top of the other. Or again, option for a pillow here if coming all the way low down to the mat is a little much. Check in with those hips. Make sure that the left hip didn't start to pop open, but staying pretty square to the mat and extending straight out from the left hip. And then also check in with those right toes. Make sure they are still a little bit flexed and active here. And just allow yourself to melt away into this pose. Again, bringing your attention to the breath, trying not to let the mind wander too much here. Staying present. And your next breath in, begin to press into your palms, curl through your back toes, and send the right leg back towards tabletop. Give it a little shake out. Send the left leg long, and then bring it up to the top of the mat. Shin is about parallel with the front of the mat. Sleeping pigeon on the other side. Right leg extends long and straight from that right hip. Hips are square to the mat. And then allow yourself to wave, release, and surrender to this pose. Every now and again, just checking in with hips, checking in with breath, and checking in with left toes, making sure they're staying active. And just bringing your mind to the focus of the breath, staying present. And once more on an inhale, begin to press up into your palms and just gently sit off to the left side so you can swing your right leg forward. Soles of the feet come together. Interlace your big toes with your peace fingers. And inhale, lift your chest so you keep your spine straight and then hinge from the hips and begin to fold over. If your elbows are down on your calves, see if you can just kind of press down to help your knees open up a little bit more. And then use that breath every inhale. Maybe rise a little bit, lengthen through the crown of the head. And then every exhale is sinking a little bit deeper into the posture. Inhale, rise up, bring your feet flat onto the mat. Arms come by your side and super slowly roll down your spine until you come to lay down on the mat. Windshield wipe your legs a little bit side to side here. And then begin to send the legs long on the mat. Feet fall open to the side, and even just that subtle motion of opening your feet gives you a little bit of a hip opening in our final resting pose, shavasana. While you're here, I invite you to stay as long as you may need. And if you are ready, gently begin to curl up, coming onto your side, using your arm as a pillow. And then press into your hand to come up to a comfortable seat. Eyes remain closed and hands pressed together at heart center. A little bow in your head. And ending this practice, as always, with gratitude for your body, for being able to accomplish all that it did. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed, in order to stay tuned for more, please subscribe to my channel and give a thumbs up or leave a comment below. You can also keep up with me on my Instagram page at Yogiano. See you soon.